Hey guys, hope you're having a great week. I just want to update you quickly on a couple of things here at church. Well, the first thing I'd like to bring your attention to really quickly is next week. I'm sure you already know this, but we've got Pastor Rodney and Adonica Howard-Browne coming to church. I've got a little flyer there. This is going to be an incredible week. I'm pumped. I can't wait to get into this next week. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Rodney and seen his ministry before, but we're going to be really blessed as a church to have these guys along next week. So I encourage you to get along to as many sessions as you can. They're on from Tuesday right through to Saturday night. So it's 5 nights in a row, and I know the church is going to be really blessed with having their ministry here at Bayside. And one last thing, I'd love to get you to encourage you guys in the next few days leading up to the week, and obviously through the week, if you can really be praying for the team who's on. There will be a worship set every one of those nights, and it's going to be a big week for the team who are on possibly 5 nights in a row. So keep them in your prayers. Pray that God really comes and strengthens them, gives them stamina, and that they can really tap into His Spirit and run with what He's doing this week. So so uplift those guys in your prayers and come along to the services if you can. They're going to be incredible nights. The second thing I'd like to mention just briefly is last week we had our first worship team meeting of the year, last Monday night, and this was a great night. We could just come together and worship God. And also on the night I just shared briefly a little bit about myself and my background, and then we looked at the vision and the motto for the worship team this year. And I encourage you, if you weren't able to be here last Monday night, jump onto the website into the Bayside worship section, and I've actually uploaded the session onto that. So jump in there, follow the links, and have a listen to what we talked about last Monday night. And I'd like to reiterate the importance of these nights. We've only got 3 more, unfortunately, this year where we can all come together as the full worship team. But these are going to be fantastic nights. We've almost locked in our speakers, and these are some great ministers who are going to come and really sow into the worship team. The dates for these, I think I sent an email out last week with them on there, so make sure you get them into your diaries. If you haven't had a chance to do that, they're on the Bayside worship section of the website as well. So make sure you know when they're coming up, because they're going to be great nights. I'd just like to leave with you quickly a devotion I did the other day, and I was reading through Hebrews in chapter 11, which is the big faith chapter in Hebrews, and I love what it says. Even in verse 1 it says, now faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. And as I was reading through this chapter, God focused my attention on 3 main men of faith here in the Bible, and the first one was Abel, way back at the start of Genesis. And Abel is a man who really worshipped God by faith. It says in Genesis 4, I'm pretty sure it is, that God looked favourably upon his offering. He's a man who really worshipped God by faith. Then the second person I was looking at was a guy called Enoch, and he came a few generations after Abel. And it says in the Bible that this is a man who walked with God. And it got me thinking, because I believe that we can't walk with God until we've worshipped God. And it's when we learn how to worship God that then we can walk with God. And then thirdly, God really pointed out another guy following on from that, who I think is actually Enoch's great-grandson. I think, don't quote me on that, but it's a guy I'm sure some of you may have heard of before, and his name is Noah. And this is a guy who really worked with God. Obviously, they worked together in building the ark. And it got me thinking that in order for us to work with God, we have to walk with God. But before we can walk with God, we have to worship God. So I believe that we have to worship like Abel did. That leads us to walking like Enoch did. And then we can work with God like Noah did. So I want to leave that with you, that our worship is so important, our personal worship is so important. And I'm not just talking about what we do here on the platform during services. That's really such a small portion of our lives as worship, because God asks us to live lives of worship. That's in every aspect of our lives. That's at home with the kids, that's in the workplace, and that's coming to church on Sundays. Our lives should be full of worship in every aspect. So I want to leave you with that. I want to encourage you to really use your lives, every single part of it, as worship unto God. Thanks for your time, guys. I'm looking forward to catching up with some of you on the weekend during the services. If I don't see you then, hopefully next week with Rodney Howard-Browne. Have a really great week. Have a blessed week, and I'll see you guys soon. See ya.